Welcome, Liz, and thank you for joining with me. I have a question, personally myself, how to store your kids' paintings and artwork. Can I show you mine? I've got it. I would like to know how to actually store my. This is pretty heavy. There it is. I was talking about steamer containers. That's all my kids' stuff for the last 10 years. Can you give me some advice on how to store that?
Sure. How many kids do you have?
I've got two.
Two. Okay. All right. Well, I guess it really depends. So you've actually done a pretty good job, because a lot of the time I just find piles and piles of art and scribbles and all sorts of things just shoved into a woman's wardrobe or into the kid's bed, or just shoved into boxes and not organized in any way. And they're just like, I don't know what to do. Now, part of the problem is you've got the things that mum loves, the things that the kids love, and in between there are things that are just little scribbles and things like that. Then you have jumbo-sized ones, which are bigger than any box you've ever seen. They're enormous, great big works of art, because the darn daycare decided that would be a good idea.
Yeah, the big boxes and things that are attached to each other, they're out, they're in the bin.
So, first of all, one of the most important things to decide is, if you would frame it, then you definitely would want to keep those ones and possibly even frame them. That's a really good idea. And also, it's a really good idea to make categories of art for each of your children. You do have pen scribbles because they were bored. And then you have things that they've put a lot of work into, every little scrap of their heart and soul. And then other things that they just dashed off. So you as a mum, you know this stuff. You know what's important to them. Kids can be notoriously dramatic, though, when it comes to the disposal of their art. They can be quite sort of, oh, it's my art, Mum. Shouldn't throw that out. But the thing is, if you just sort of discreetly put it to one side and they don't see it for a period of time, they completely forget that it ever existed. And you can show them the art that you are keeping and how much you love it by keeping it organized as best you can. And that's pretty good for 10 years, that box. I've seen
It's two kids, two kids.
Yeah, that's one child, and that's maybe a year. So it's not bad. Part of you can keep them chronologically once you've decided which ones you want to keep, and pop them just on the top. And then maybe once a year you can just go through the ones on the bottom discreetly. Again, I like to call this secret mum business. But it's entirely up to you. Some parents prefer to consult with their children, and that works really well if it works for you. But if your children are keepers of all things because they can't possibly imagine anything being kept ever in the future, then it's a good idea just to do an initial little declutter first, and then help them, they can help you decide what to keep. Also, you might find that if you have one box or one folder per child, that also helps as well. It helps them feel kind of special as well if their folder or box is named for them, and they know where their box is as well, and they know that the most special art is kept in them as well. You can get large art folders, but they're actually pretty hard to get hold of right now. But you can make your own if you do have jumbo-sized art you want to keep, like a flat piece of paper, just by getting two pieces of cardboard and taping it up around the sides. And that kind of thing can be easily slipped under the bed, which is a very handy place for large, unwieldy things, if you decide you want to keep it. Also, you can take photos of things, particularly three-dimensional things. You can take photos and you keep those in their special box as well.
Not a bad idea. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for that, Liz. I really appreciate it. I might stick to my container. I seem to only keep hold of the ones that are dated as well. If they're not dated, or the daycare hasn't dated it, it goes in the bin, because I just don't see any reason to keep it. Otherwise, I won't remember how old they were. So
that's right. Yeah, no, that's a really good idea. I like that idea. It's a little bit like photos as well. If you do come across something that's absolutely brilliant and it's not dated, but you want to keep it, you can just write the date on the back yourself, so you know exactly, when it was created by your little darling.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. Thanks for the tips. How could anyone get hold of you if they want any more information?
They can go to my website, www.thetidylady.co.nz, and have a look at my blog as well while they're there.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.